Our guest, Cavador, just spilled his guts.
Not literally.
It wasn't necessary. Cavador was instructed to deliver 2 sorts of artifacts. Brass masks and
Those slave masks on Karras' servants?
and some sort of agricultural device called a cultivator.
Oh, but that's probably not important. That sounds like I don't have to steal it.
30 of each.
Each. So they're connected.
We have to assume so. Unfortunately, our efforts to secure a mask have been...
Amateurish, blockheaded, stupid, undone by sending agents who barely speak English and don't wear shoes?
frustrated.
After playing the next 2 missions, I can understand the frustration.
There's a collector named Bram Gervasius with an interest in masks and headdresses.
No, I don't care, I hate him.
Gervasius? I've had an agent on his case.
Yeah, but we've established that they suck, so...
What can your agent give me on his house?
Man, going back over this cutscene, I can feel the rage coming! So Gervasius has some masks that we have to steal. They're important to understanding Karras' plan, blah blah blah. So this is casing the joint, and I hate it. And you remember in Thief 1 when I told you that you could end a mission by pressing Ctrl-Alt-Shift-End? If I wasn't doing this for a series, I would skip casing the joint because it's a waste of time. You can't really tell in the rest of the game that Looking Glass was trying to shove this thing out the door, but once you hit casing the joint, a mission where you run around a big mansion putting cuckoos into clocks before the next mission, masks where you run around the same mansion again? Like, I don't understand why this mission is here other than to pad out the length of the game. A Thief game where you can spend 2 hours in a mission already. Well, Thief Gold had 15 missions, so Thief 2 has to have at least as many, right? It's not like the general quality of Thief 2's missions has been a cut above this whole time, except maybe the Lost City. But you've got like Life of the Party and the Bank level, and those are excellent, and then fucking casing the joint. The mission objectives read like nobody cared. You have to find a secret stairway and how to open it, which is the important thing. Then it says, if you get a chance to find out what kind of correspondence the Mechanists have been sending Gervasius, it would save you having to do it on your return trip. Doesn't really matter, it's optional. Find at least 7 secrets. This seems like an interesting challenge until you read the next objective, where you have to explore and map out at least half the mansion because Victoria's agents, as we've already discovered, suck. And you'll find a ton of secret passages because they're everywhere, and they're terribly cramped, and you get stuck in doorways and on pipes, and let me remind you, you have to go through this map twice. There isn't even a loot objective in this level. This is a thief level in which you are not required to steal. Okay, you steal a cuckoo for a clock, but it never leaves the property, so that doesn't even count. Worst of all, the last objective says that you can't get into any confrontations with the locals. Okay. He didn't even see me coming. That's not a confrontation. So no knockouts, no theft, just cartography and disappointment. Right in front of you where you start, there's a secret entrance to the mansion. We're using secret very loosely in this level because the guards and civilians also know where these secret passages are. The place is outfitted with Mechanist security. At the moment, it's just camera faces and bomb faces. I'll just turn those off. Okay, so not the lower switch on the console, only the top one. You gotta remember that because there's a dozen of these security stations in this place. This level might not bother me so much if I couldn't tell how unfinished it was. There are nearly barren rooms scattered throughout, then there's just floating brushes that are supposed to be connected to something. Fucking roll! That ain't gonna fly here. This isn't Constantine's mansion. And again! You donkey! You'll have to visit this haunted library at least once during these missions. It's a good way to get around. Gervasius, like Truart, is a weird old rich guy who enjoys murdering people, except like a dumbass he hides the bodies in a secret closet in the library instead of, I don't know, disposing of them like a competent criminal.
What? Nobody reads books these days.
Okay, Boomer. I do my objectives, alright? I do them. I forget where the conversation about the cuckoo happens, but it's there to tell you that you have to put that into the clock to open the secret passage. That mess of polygons is definitely what the game says it is. I've done everything I need to, so I have to distract some guards away from the front door so I can make it out to the streets.
Alright, what is that?
This is gonna be a lot easier when I can blackjack again.
Now that I've established such a close working relationship with Lord Gervasius's security systems, Going back in for those masks shouldn't be too much trouble.
Yeah, more or less true, since we already know the layout of the map, taking away one of the small pleasures of exploring a thief level while doing the mission, you know? Whatever. No word from Karis yet because he's still holed up in Soulforge Cathedral. On this trip to the mansion, we have to steal the 3 precursor masks, do that thing we didn't do last time because fuck that mission, grab a staggering 2,800 in loot, and of course, don't kill anyone and exit the way you did last time. Could have cut an hour from this game. First things first, grab those masks and some Mission Impossible style rope tricks because this horribly ugly stretched out carpet texture is a clue that if you step on it, it releases toxic gas. You can turn the gas off if you want to do some puzzles, but I'm not spending a second longer than I have to and... There are 9 masks in total, 3 are mission objectives, and the rest are loot. So I take all of them, why not? And that's the main objective done and dusted, so now mostly I'm just robbing the place. The biggest difference, besides all the gas traps, is that most of the doors are now locked. I thought there wasn't another objective, but check this out, fastest objective assignment and completion in any game ever.
A cultivator. That must be what Karis is writing to Gervasius about. What a nice bonus.
Yeah, sure. It takes a long time to scrape up enough loot to leave this place, and the way the mansion is laid out doesn't help. The secret passage to the 3rd floor closes behind me, so getting downstairs again requires deactivating some security and sneak 100ing this guard on the balcony.
What is this?
I don't know how to get into that elevator, don't ask me. Guy's staring at a wall, I probably didn't need to do that. Even outside of the secret passages, I have to question the placement of certain things that get in the way.
Who's there? Oh.
Motherfucker.
The Hunting of the Frumious Bandersnatch by Captain Rufus T. Spaulding.
Okay, you know what? You're getting your Marx Brothers movies mixed up here. See, it was Captain Jeffrey T. Spaulding who was the hunter in Animal Crackers and the... Crackers? It was Captain Jeffrey T. Spaulding who was the hunter in Animal Crackers, and then Rufus T. Firefly was the leader of Fredonia in Duck Soup. Look, all I'm saying is that maybe if Lookinglass had a little more time, they could have fixed this.
If I ought to jump over this counter and bash your fucking balls in.
Captain, this leaves me speechless.
Fuck your mama.
And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Fuck your sister. Fuck your grandma.
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunt. Oh, right. I get my loot and leave. This level and the level before it suck and don't matter. A waste of about 3 hours of my time just so we can have a little more intel before getting to Thief 2's final chapter. You can tell it's important because we have another one of those fully animated cutscenes.
Don't. The reaction will continue if it finds more organic material.
For how long?
It seems that when all the rust gas settles into dust, then it is safe. Garrett, for what purpose would the mechanists use these cultivators?
Well, we know Karis has installed them in the masks of the servants.
Yes.
And the servants have been placed in the homes of the wealthy.
Yes! The homes with the gardens. The plants there could sustain a reaction large enough to destroy everything. We must go to the Mechanist Cathedral. You see, if I fill the cathedral with plants, enough to fuel a chain reaction, then it should cause the same effect we just saw. But it would take Karis with it instead of the city.
If we can get into the Mechanist Cathedral, if you fill it with plants, if I can find, let alone activate the beacon, all without being detected, that's too risky. We'll be killed.
Garrett, no. You'll only be mostly killed. I promise.
There is no more time. We must act. Are you too blind to see that?
Whoa, Vicky, not cool, not a thing you say to somebody whose eye you stole.
Your plan is suicide. I'll think of a better way. And I work alone.
Later, in another beautiful cutscene...
I'm here against the wishes of the Keeper Council.
Oh, right, Keeper Artemis. I forgot the Keepers were still in this game because they haven't really done anything.
I am here as your friend, Garrett. Listen. Victoria has begun an assault on the Mechanist Cathedral.
No.
Even though none of the dialogue has really established that Garrett actually likes Victoria now, Stephen Russell nails the delivery.
Victoria!
Garrett! I failed!
This is not enough plant life to sustain the reaction.
These mechanical beasts detected me. But there is one more thing I can do.
Then it will be up to you, my good thief.
Wait, Victoria, let's get... Victoria!
Just a film.
I plant enough!
Karis.
Nobody forces our wood nymphs to sacrifice themselves and gets away with it. Oh, come the fuck on!
Garrett, are you not? So, once again we are met. And the woman of the woods, didst thou come here together? Thou art transparent to me, Garrett. Even now I can see thou seekest to stop me, but there is naught you can do. My chamber resists all manner of infiltrations, even from a skilled man such as thyself.
Hey, fuckhead.
Garrett, thine end is near. Cease thy squirmings and pray for thy very soul. Good. Thine intrusion has been my cue to begin now the final preparations. May the world be ready for the builder's arrival. I fear you not, Garrett, that I have dispatched some of the builder's children to intercept you. Thou too will perish and trouble me no more.
Soulforge feels more like a descent into a cursed, unholy realm than the Maw of Chaos did in the last game. It is significantly harder than any other mission in any Thief game as far as I'm concerned. Took me nearly 3 hours to get through it, on Expert mind you, and I've never beaten it on Expert. I never dared. Today, I do. Victoria mentioned a beacon, which we need, but Karis has the only one locked up in his safe room. So we have to manufacture another one ourselves. First stop, supply rooms, grabbing everything so that I don't have to make another trip. Second trip, plans room, because we don't know how to build this thing and we need the blueprints. I don't grab just these blueprints because you can also get the blueprints for mines, flares, and another piece you need to assemble the beacon. You think assembling that beacon will be easy? Oh no, it requires us to run around half of this giant metal tomb putting parts into machines on 5 different factory floors that are all swarming with robots that, more so than ever, creep me the fuck out while talking to me in Karis' voice. Except for the new servants. They carry maces now, and if they don't creep you out, remember that there's nothing in the objectives that says I can't kill them, meaning they're not people anymore.
Almost dead. Thank you.
Ugh. Kinda takes the fun out of killing them if they're in such horrible pain that they thank me for it. The effectiveness of this level's design is equal to its oppressive nature. You can't take out all these robots. You theoretically could go around producing mines if you wanted to run around the cathedral doing so. No thank you. All the machines are guarded by more machines. New machines, spider things. This isn't a blow everything up kind of level. Not that any Thief level is. This one is mechanical terror. Factory Bay C to create the Stage 1 piece, then Factory Bay A to turn it into the Stage 2 piece. The fact that there are spider robots and bomb tossers here, and this is the least dangerous part of the mission, should tell you something. After this, we have to make a regulating round, an entirely separate blueprint. We have to go to Storage Room 3, then Factory Bay D. Factory Bay D nearly breaks me. There are half dozen robots patrolling around, and half of them are bombers. I'm putting moss down to cover 3 feet of space so I can drop more things into the next machine to fuse the regulating round to the Stage 2 piece, making the Stage 3 piece, but I have to use every explosive I have to thin out the herd of robots or else I will die. Factory Bay E, where I do the final construction of the signal beacon, isn't much better. I'm able to get in and out in one piece with the signal beacon, and it doesn't take a dozen tries. Now we have to place the signal beacon. That's a platforming challenge made all the more fun by this game's tendency to decide that you didn't press the jump button or you didn't actually try to mantle onto a surface. All of this horror was only half this level. Because once the guiding beacon is in place, you have to go up to the roof and change the signal on 7 of the signal towers. It's only 5 on easy and 6 on normal, so we get to see every inch of this goddamn place during this mission. And it's not like you can run across the rooftop to hit every tower. No, they each have individual elevators leading to them. 7 switches. The first is right next to the beacon, and the rest are scattered throughout an entirely separate section of the cathedral that we haven't explored yet. And here is where the level gets downright evil. Okay, well, let's go to the exploratory inventing workshop, which I'm sure is a euphemism for some terrible Frankenstein shit. Gotta turn all the lights out in here before we do anything, climb on top of this machine, then up this ladder, then up this elevator, and Tower 2 is hit. Now just to... Wait, this grate wasn't here before. Why is it here now? Oh, well, you see, a servant turns the power back on if they see you climbing this ladder, so basically there's an enemy that soft locks you if you don't take care of him. Back to the beacon! Okay, 2 towers down. Now we head into the robot room of death, where there are at least 6 bomb robots, but honestly I lost count, because there ain't no way I'm sneaking through this shit. I run across the catwalks, barely avoiding death. Get to the tower, 3 of 7. This section is such a death trap I use an invisibility potion to get out. It gets worse later. The noise I made led a robot away from its post at this elevator so I can hit this tower. 4 of 7. The next section of the cathedral... The metal baby is back! No. Fuck it. Only way out is through. I don't know what this room is for. It's got a moving bridge, robots, and molten metal. There's an elevator here, too. 5 of 7. This is hell. This horrible assembly line patrolled by robots leads to another tower, though it's less painful than most of these gauntlets. 6 of 7. One more tower, and past some spider bots and a big chapel, we get to... turret production? Turret production? What, does GLaDOS run this place? That explains all the fire and sadism. There, 7 of 7. We can leave. I got one more stop, though. Karis! Karis! I'm gonna fuck you up, Karis. Real bad.
You know what? I'm happy.
I really wish I could have stabbed him, but this isn't that kind of game.
It was written?
All?
Victoria's death? And Karis? Was it written in your books?
All is as it was written.
And there's more.
Yes.
Tell me.
Kind of an abrupt end to a damn fine game, mirroring the end of Looking Glass itself. But the keepers, those useless kids in the back of the class with the test answers, they'll get what's coming to them. It's not as interesting or fun, but they'll get theirs. In a few years, when Ion Storm puts out Thief 3, the last game that they'd make too. Write that in your archives of The Curse of Thief, where the only way for your studio to survive is to make a Thief game in name only.